Welcome to Faculty of Social Science and Humanities, State Islamic University, Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta. The Faculty of Social Science and Humanities is one of the favorite faculties at Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University. This faculty has three departments, namely Psychology, Sociology, and Communication Studies. It is one of the general faculties at the university which develop social science and Muslim societies through the lens of Islamic insight. Established in 2005, the faculty has produced outstanding intellectuals and professionals in their fields. Many facilities support student creativity both in the academic and non-academic field, including interactive centers, classroom, psychology reading rooms, audio-visual rooms, computer rooms, development laboratory, social laboratory, clinical laboratory, applied psychology center or APC, industry and organizations laboratory, sociology laboratory, public relations laboratory, advertising laboratory, studio room, mosque, libraries, and shady space outdoor. A wide range of activities for students is also interesting to get to know, including intra-campus students organization consisting of the Student Executive Council, Student Senate, Study Program Association, Sport Autonomous Body, Journalistic Autonomous Body, Al-Fatah Autonomous Body, and various student activity units. At the department level, annual activity are also held by students. Psychology Festival in Psychology Department, and Expo of Sociopreneur in Sociology Department, and Creative Advertising Festival in Communication Science. Many activities at the international level are also held regularly every year, including the annual International Conference on Social Science and Humanities and the International Jogja Youth Camp. All students are encouraged to actively participate in international events such as competitions, exchange programs, conferences, etc. The Faculty of Social Science and Humanities also has several journals. Among them are Journal of Integrative Psychology, Journal Sociology Reflective, the Faculty Journal of Communication. At the faculty level, there is the Kalijaga International Journal. Confidently, we always discuss innovation challenges to properly position ourselves amidst the social change and other developments in many sectors of life. We will keep producing young scholars contributing to society both on the national and global levels.
Every single day, I'm gone.
So today we will going to seminar series, and I will be the host of this program. If you want to check out, please watch
I'm
this.
leaving home for the coastline, someplace under the sun. I feel my heart for the first time, 'cause now I'm moving on, yeah, I'm moving on. And there's a place that I've dreamed of, where I can free my mind. I hear the sounds of the season and the sense of time. I'm moving far away to a sunny place, where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I mean.
Or at least they replace it.
The summer air by the seaside, the way it fills our lungs. The fire burns in the night sky. This life will keep us young, yeah, keep us young. And we will sleep by the ocean.
Radical. Maybe you think, it's right ideology, but when you in the out of the group, maybe we think you think it's not good for us, it's not good for our nation. So it depends on where are you come from. When you're in a society is
I'm moving far away to a sunny place, where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I mean.
So today's short course is already finished, and this is the second day. And tomorrow we will go to the we will go to the Ramai Ballet. Oh yeah, it's third day. Okay. I will introduce you to all my friends. Woo! Swag. Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Welcome to Faculty of Social Science and Humanities, State Islamic University, Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta. The Faculty of Social Science and Humanities is one of the favorite faculties at Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University. This faculty has 3 departments, namely Psychology, Sociology, and Communication Studies. It is one of the general faculties at the university which develop social science and Muslim societies through the lens of Islamic insight. Established in 2005, the faculty has produced outstanding intellectuals and professionals in their fields. Many facilities support student creativity both in the academic and non-academic field, including interactive centers, classroom, psychology reading rooms, audio-visual rooms, computer rooms, development laboratory, social laboratory, clinical laboratory, applied psychology center or APC, industry and organizations laboratory, sociology laboratory, public relations laboratory, advertising laboratory, studio room, mosque, libraries, and shady space outdoor. A wide range of activities for students is also interesting to get to know, including intra-campus student organization consisting of the Student Executive Council, Student Senate, Study Program Association, Sport Autonomous Body, Journalistic Autonomous Body, Al-Fatah Autonomous Body, and various student activity units. At the department level, annual activity are also held by students. Psychology Festival in Psychology Department, and Expo of Sociopreneur in Sociology Department, and Creative Advertising Festival in Communication Science. Many activities at the international level are also held regularly every year, including the annual International Conference on Social Science and Humanities and the International Jogja Youth Camp. All students are encouraged to actively participate in international events such as competitions, exchange programs, conferences, etc. The Faculty of Social Science and Humanities also has several journals. Among them are Journal of Integrative Psychology, Journal Sociology Reflective, the Faculty Journal of Communication. At the faculty level, there is the Kalijaga International Journal. Confidently, we always discuss innovation challenges to properly position ourselves amidst the social change and other developments in many sectors of life. We will keep producing young scholars contributing to society both on the national and global levels.
Top 1.
Every single day
So today we will going to seminar series and I will be the host of this program. If you want to check out, please watch
I'm
this.
leaving home for the coastline, someplace under the sun. I feel my heart for the first time, 'cause now I'm moving on, yeah, I'm moving on. And there's a place that I've dreamed of, where I can free my mind. I hear the sounds of the season and the sense of time. I'm moving far away to a sunny place, where it's just you and me.
Foundation of the user state Pancasila.
Feels like we're in a dream.
Still,
You know what I
relevant,
mean.
or at least they replace it.
The summer air by the seaside, the way it fills our lungs. The fire burns in the night sky. This life will keep us young, yeah, keep us young. And
When you in the society of radical, maybe you think, it's right ideology. But when you in the out of the group, maybe we think, you think it's not good from us, it's not good from our nation. So it depends on where are we come from. When you're in the society is
I'm moving far away to a sunny place, where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I mean.
So today's short course is already finished and this is the second day and tomorrow we will go to the we will go to the Ramai Ballet. Oh yeah. It's third day, okay. I will introduce you to all my friends. Woo! Swipe! Yeah. Welcome to Faculty of Social Science and Humanities, State Islamic University, Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta. The Faculty of Social Science and Humanities is one of the favorite faculties at Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University. This faculty has 3 departments, namely Psychology, Sociology, and Communication Studies. It is one of the general faculties at the university which develop social science and Muslim societies through the lens of Islamic insight. Established in 2005, the faculty has produced outstanding intellectuals and professionals in their fields. Many facilities support student creativity both in the academic and non-academic field, including interactive centers, classroom, psychology reading rooms, audio-visual rooms, computer rooms, development laboratory, social laboratory, clinical laboratory, applied psychology center or APC, industry and organizations laboratory, sociology laboratory, public relations laboratory, advertising laboratory, studio room, mosque, libraries, and shady space outdoor. A wide range of activities for students is also interesting to get to know, including intra-campus student organization consisting of the Student Executive Council, Student Senate, Study Program Association, Sport Autonomous Body, Journalistic Autonomous Body, Al-Fatah Autonomous Body, and various student activity units. At the department level, annual activity are also held by students. Psychology Festival in Psychology Department, and Expo of Sociopreneur in Sociology Department, and Creative Advertising Festival in Communication Science. Many activities at the international level are also held regularly every year, including the annual International Conference on Social Science and Humanities and the International Jogja Youth Camp. All students are encouraged to actively participate in international events such as competitions, exchange programs, conferences, etc. The Faculty of Social Science and Humanities also has several journals. Among them are Journal of Integrative Psychology, Journal Sociology Reflective, the Faculty Journal of Communication. At the faculty level, there is the Kalijaga International Journal. Confidently, we always discuss innovation challenges to properly position ourselves amidst the social change and other developments in many sectors of life. We will keep producing young scholars contributing to society both on the national and global levels.
Every single day Oh, lebih lama cara Oh, siap senior.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Professor Dr. Kiai Haji Yudian Wahyudi, M.A. Ph.D. as the head of Badan Pembinaan Ideologi Pancasila Republik Indonesia. The Honorable Professor Dr. Pil Almakin, S.Ag, M.A. as the rector of UIN Sunan Kalijaga. The Honorable Professor Dr. Haji Siswanto Masruri, M.A. as the President of University Senate. The Honorable Professor Dr. Haji Maragustam, M.A. as the Secretary of University Senate. The Honorable Professor Dr. Iswandi Syaputra, S.Ag, M.Si. as the First Vice Rector. The Honorable Dr. Pil Sahiron, M.A. as the Second Vice Rector. The Honorable Dr. Abdur Rozaki, S.Ag, M.Si. as the Third Vice Rector. The Honorable Dr. Haji Abdul Syakur, S.Ag, M.Si. as Kabiro AUK. The Honorable Dr. Haji Mamat Rahmatullah, M.M. as Kabiro AAKK. The Honorable Professor Dr. Haji Abdul Mustaqim, M.A.G. as the Postgraduate Director. The Honorable all heads of institutional units of UIN Sunan Kalijaga. The Honorable Dr. Muhammad Sodik, S.Sos, M.Si. as the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science and Humanities, along with the staff. The Honorable all heads of study centers and all of the audience. Good afternoon. My name is Fitria Eranda. It is a precious chance for me to be your Master of Ceremony on this very special occasion in the term of short course Islam in Indonesia, Building Global Civic Harmony, Issues and Experience in Indonesia Muslim Society. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us guidance, happiness, healthy, and mercy so we can attend and participate in this special occasion without any obstacle. Praise and salutation upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who had brought us to the path of light from the darkness in this life. But before we begin this opening ceremony, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Fritz Kulze, Professor Dr. Siti Ruhaini Zulhayatin, M.A., Professor Nurhaidi Hasan, S.Ag, M.A., M.Phil, Ph.D., Professor Masdar Hilmi, S.Ag, M.A., Ph.D., Dr. Muhammad Nur Ihwan, S.Ag, M.A., Wasisto Raharjo Jati, SIP, M.Pol, S.C., Dr. Hewai Weng, Mrs. Alisa Wahid, Professor Dr. Robert Hefner as our speakers today. On this special occasion, we have several agendas as follows. First, opening. Second, reciting Holy Quran. Third, singing national anthem Indonesia Raya and hymn of UIN Sunan Kalijaga. Third, welcoming speech. Fourth, taking pictures together. And the last is closing. Before we begin, I would like to inviting all audience to reciting Basmalah. Bismillah. Move on to the next agenda is reciting Holy Quran, who will be recited by Miss Koirunisa. To Miss Koirunisa, I respectfully welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dzakarin wa unsa min dzakarin wa unsa wa ja'alnakum syu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu.
Pak.
Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Innallaha alimun khabir. Qulu aslamna walamma yadkhulil imanu fi qulubikum. Wa in Innallaha ghafurur rahim. Sadaqallahul azim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sadaqallahul Azim. Thank you very much to Miss Koirunisa who has recited the Holy Quran. May Allah always bless us. Amin. Moving to the next agenda are singing national anthem Indonesia Raya and hymn of UIN Sunan Kalijaga. All of audience, you may open your camera. Thank you very much. The next agenda are greetings. The first greeting will be delivered by Dr. Muhammad Sodik, S.Sos, M.Si, as the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science and Humanities. To Dr. Muhammad Sodik, S.Sos, M.Si, I respectfully welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nahmaduka ya dal jalali wal ikram wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa salam amma ba'da. Honorable Head of the Pancasila Ideologi Development Agency, Profesor Ph.D. Yudian Wahyudi, Ph.D., Rector of Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University, Prof. Al-Makin, Vice Rector of Academic Affairs and Institutional Development, Prof. Iswandi Saputra, Vice Rector of Public Administration, Planning and Finance, Dr. Pil Shairon, and Vice Rector of Student Affairs and Cooperation, Dr. Abdul Rozaki, the Head of University Senate, Prof. Dr. Iswanto Masruri, and its Secretary, Prof. Dr. Maragustam, Director of Postgraduate Schools, our Deans and Vice Deans in UIN Sunan Kalijaga Yogyakarta, our respected speakers, especially for today's speakers, Prof. Al-Makin, thank you very much, Prof. Makin, Prof. Sulse from Jos August Göttingen University, Germany, and Prof. Rohaini, Senior Advisor for the Executive Office of the President of the Republic Indonesia, heads of study centers, lecturers, committers, and all beloved participants. As a Dean, on behalf of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, UIN Sunan Kalijaga Yogyakarta, I am very delighted to follow step by step the development of this annual agenda called S.Sos Islam in Indonesia, since established 4 years ago. And today, with enthusiasm of 165 participants coming from various countries such as Iran, Belgium, Turkey, Australia, Singapore, Italy, Nigeria, and many other countries of Asia, this program proves how much interest in learning Islam in Indonesia is. I hope this short course under the theme of Building Global Civil Harmony, Issues and Experience in Indonesia Muslim Society will expand to understanding on Islam in Indonesia. Finally, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Sulistianingsih, Head Office Dean, who had responsibility to run the program. We are Daningar Luh Titianti and the team of MOGA, Muslim Global Affairs, who prepare and bring about this event finally. Before closing these remarks, I would like to extend my salam and desire to all participants in order to keep in touch of the S.Sos and create some such alumni sharing group to possibly make some research project in future. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you very much to Dr. Muhammad Sodik, S.Sos, M.Si, who delivering his speech. Well, the second greeting will be delivered by Professor Dr. Pil Al-Makin, S.Ag, M.A, as the Rector of UIN Sunan Kalijaga, our keynote speakers today, and at the same time opening this event. So, to Professor Dr. Pil Al-Makin, S.Ag, M.A, I respectfully welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for this opportunity Praise upon God, and please be thankful for today we still alive. Take a breath and attend this conference. Peace and blessing upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all those who believe in his prophethood. Welcome to this conference. I'm so happy, with my pleasure and my honor, to welcome everybody. We have at least 21 from abroad, from Iran, Kuala Lumpur, Belgium, Nigeria, Australia, Singapore, Italy, Pakistan, and Turkey. Welcome to our campus, Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University. We are very happy to have you, at least via Zoom meeting. We always imagine that you come to Yogyakarta physically, and we wish this pandemic is over so that we could meet with each other easily. However, without too much pessimistic about the current situation, let us be thankful that we still have this opportunity. Thank you, the Dean of the Faculty of Social and Humanity, Pak Dr. Kiai Muhammad Sodik, whose duty and commitment to our university is never doubtful. And thank you to Vice Dean among us in this meeting, Ibu Dr. Sulis and Pak Dr. Badrun. And thank you, Ibu Ambar also attends this meeting, and the rest is lecturers like BJ, and then Lisa, and who else? What is your name? Ardani. We, and the rest, once again, thank you. The rest students. Okay, the head of the office. Thank you. And thank you for the guests and also those who will give insight in this conference. We are ready to listen what you have experienced and did research. Allow me today to perhaps a little bit share with you my experiences, particularly I am as a researcher and at the moment as the rector of State Islamic University. Our concern, and at the moment we should think deeply about Islam in Indonesia. There are several issues worth contemplating for both Indonesians and non-Indonesians. First, of course, concerning history. There are two kinds of histories. So far, we can say that it's okay. We are successful in learning history of Islam in Indonesia. But I think very concerned, and I think the rest of you too, that we are too little talking about the history of humanity. In our schools across Indonesia, from elementary school to university, mostly based on my research in Medan, Ambon, Manado, and across Java, history of the globe and history of humanity is not well understood. For instance, when I ask some of my students, when is this word begins? Mostly just they point out the Mecca and the 7th century, 1,500 years ago. Absolutely, this is a very partial history. In reality, the history of humanity is like 2.5 million years. And most of the students whom I ask and I also interview cannot point out which religions emerged first and when Islam emerged. They just know that Islam emerged with no time and no space, just from heaven to all of us. Of course, this is not historical, and that's not history we perceive. And I think we as professors, lecturers, researchers across Indonesia should reintroduce the history of the world, and we should put our faith in which place in the history of human being. By doing so, this will create awareness of plurality in the world, that we are not alone. We live side by side with other people with a different faith. And this time, at the moment, is not the only time of human race. We are very tiny compared to the history of humanity. We are just small portions of faith in the world. There are so many beliefs, so many traditions, so many religions, perhaps millions if we count those who died out. This is our concern, and perhaps it's too idealistic, but at least we should introduce to our students that Islam is not the only religion in the world. There are many religions, there are many faiths, there are many traditions, and we should understand from the standpoint of those who believe. And secondly, we are very concerned with the practice of democracy in Indonesia. It seems that we should be very proud, because it seems that Indonesia is the only Muslim country that practices democracy openly with multi-party system. If we look at the Middle East, we are very sad. We are very disappointed with the development of Middle East. Arab Spring, it seemed not so successful in bringing civil society and in bringing democracy in the regions. In Indonesia, we have kind of interaction between people with the faith but believe in the system of democracy, not caliphate. And our country is a Republic of Indonesia, not Islamic state, nor a religious state. But we believe in the enforcement of law. On the one hand, it seems that we should be very proud. On the other hand, however, we should be very critical to ourselves. The practice of democracy in Indonesia needs a lot of critical insight. And we seem to fail morally. If we look at so many general elections, after the fall of Suharto in 1997, we have many presidents, many legislative members, parliament members, head of district, head of sub-district, head of the province, all is resulted from election, directly one man, one vote. This is achievement, indeed, compared to other Muslim countries. And we can say to the world that democracy and Islam is not contradictory. Democracy and Islam is something that we can call compatible. However, if we look at deeply, honestly, to the way in which democracy has been practiced in Indonesia, we will also be disappointed. You know, I have to be very honest with you. All the candidates suffer a lot because they have to spend a lot of money, billions of rupiah, to finance their campaign. And ironically, this is very honest, many have written this, Muslim scholars, Indonesian scholars, non-Muslim scholars, non-Indonesian scholars, that our democracy is mere procedure. The morality of democracy still far. Voters are just paid. They receive money in the envelopes. This practice is not only in a national level, but in the local levels. In almost every general elections involve money. And the politicians, on the one hand, also not happy because they have to spend a lot of money. And this is not good. This is the side effect of liberal democracy. We should take a break. We should think deeply what's wrong with our democracy. And in this system, multi-party, it seems the market rules everything. What I mean by the market, however, my apology, is quite negative. Money rule everything. If you want to become head of the district or bupati, you have to spend at least between 30 to 100 billions rupiah. That is a lot of money. You sell like 100 houses to purchase tickets to win. And there is no guarantee if you spend huge money, you're going to win. Oftentimes, a candidate have to spend a lot of money and they still lose. And I think Muslim in Indonesia, pundits, commentators, intellectuals, religious leaders should be aware of this practice of democracy that is lacking in something that is very essential, morality. What I mean by morality, we don't have to blame the government. We don't have to blame politicians. We don't have to blame the head of the district. We don't have to blame the presidents. We don't have to blame the members of parliament. What I mean by morality, we have to blame all of us who happily receive money before going to ballots to cast vote. We have to blame everybody. What's wrong with this system? Why Muslims praying 5 times a day and all television always cast religious sermons or pengajian almost every hours? We spend a lot of money to hold ceremonies, but we practice such very blatant corruptions. All of us, particularly in the civil society, we should think this deeply. We should find formula. We should take very bitter pills in order to cure this disease. Because this is in English, I could say this freely. And I think this is a big lesson to Indonesia, that democracy we are practicing at the moment is lacking in morality. We still playing with the capital. We still playing with the market. We are not honest. Everybody is not honest. We should look back to ourselves what's wrong with this. And once you make a mistake, usually it has collateral damage. It will create another mistakes. In general election, the candidate who spent a lot of money automatically will try to find replacement after they have that opportunity. This is a very logical consequence. Okay, let's put aside this problem. We have to think deeply, Indonesians and non-Indonesians, that democracy has something whole, has a weakness, what we practice today. How to fix this? Just imagine United States of America. Yes, there are some bad news, but not as bad as we are dealing with ourselves. Let us say good thing, not only bad thing. Culture. We, Indonesian Islam, has a rich culture, whether we realize it or not. Every island, we have 17,000 islands across Indonesia. Indonesia is very big. And Islam came to Indonesia since 13th century or 15th century, create kind of amalgamation, kind of mixture between local tradition and Islam that creates a unique identity as Indonesian Islam. Some might deny because Islam is one, Islam must be only one unity, and in reality, sociologically or anthropologically speaking, this is not true. Islam has many faces. Indonesia has experiences in dealing with the different cultures, different traditions of Islam. Nationally speaking, we have two big organizations, Nahdlatul Ulama and Muhammadiyah. That is the main organizations in Islam. Besides that, we have much more complicated picture. Much more complicated than the two organizations. Firstly, if we look at our history, the first organization that emerged as Islam is Syarikat Dagang Islam, Traders Muslim Association, Syarikat Dagang Islam, and this will later become Syarikat Islam, Islamic Association led by charismatic leader Cokro Aminoto, Haji Umar Said Cokro Aminoto. And this, if we look at deeply, Islam play a very important role in nurturing nationalism, in nurturing patriotism. And I think so many anthropologists and historians already pay attention, like Michael Lavang, that the network of Muslim scholars play very important roles in nurturing patriotism and nationalism in Indonesia. That is not deniable. However, the reality is much more complicated because the two organizations also not homogeneous. Nahdlatul Ulama, for instance, is a kind of umbrella. Within the umbrella, there are so many factions, there are so many traditions. This organization is very rich, very, very rich. And we Indonesian Islam sometimes have to learn about our own, because sometimes we fail to understand our own. Besides the two organizations, there are so many other factions, so many other groups that we still fail to understand. For instance, we have a significant number of Shia community, Ahmadiyya community, descendants of Arabs or Habib, that is different kind of traditions. And within the same organization still bear so many differences. And I think this is kind of opportunity too for scholars to study and to produce good writing about Islam in Indonesia. Because in the study of Islam in the world, Indonesian Islam, I think, is not fairly treated, doesn't receive enough attention. They think that Islam in Indonesia is only part of Middle East Islam. And Islam in Indonesia is just similar to Islam in the Middle East. And this is not true. Islam in Indonesia is quite unique, like the rest of Islam. Islam in Egypt is unique. Islam in Malaysia is unique. Islam in Tunisia is unique. Likewise, Islam in Indonesia is unique. Because we have a different kind of history, we have different kind of traditions, we have different kind of culture and languages. Let's put it this way. Islam is originally written or spoken in the 7th century in eloquent Arabic or Fusha. And then this translated into many different dialects of Arabic, and then to other languages like Persia, Turkish, India, and Malay. And Islam in Indonesia was brought via trading, and the language is not similar to today's language. The language was so diverse in the 13th to 15th century. We call it Jawi. Jawi refers to archipelago, to Nusantara. In the language of old, it's Nusantara. Nusantara or Dipantara, it is the collection of islands or archipelago. At the moment, we speak Bahasa Indonesia. Bahasa Indonesia is a new language. It's invented language just prior to the the independence of Indonesia. We have the Oath of the Youth or Sumpah Pemuda declaring that Bahasa Indonesia, Indonesian language, is the official language of the nation of Indonesia. And after the independence in 1945, we officially developed our Bahasa Indonesia. And we can look at other archives or documents. In 1945, for instance, the speeches by Sukarno, the first president, or Muhammad Hatta, or writings of Syahrir and other Muslims and Indonesian leaders, the Bahasa Indonesia employed by them is quite different from Bahasa Indonesia today. Because Bahasa Indonesia, like other Bahasa, like other languages, also developed. So this kind of history, this kind of traditions, this kind of language creates different kind of Islam. So once again, Islam is not one, but Islam manifests in many forms, in many cultures. And Indonesian Islam is not one either. Indonesian Islam has so many kinds, so many forms, so many practices. Because Indonesia is big, we have 17,000 islands once again, and that create different kind of culture. And we have to keep in mind that Indonesian Islam also developed, also evolve, we might say evolve, from one year to another, from one generations to another, from one period to another. We practice Islam today in the 20th century or millennial is quite different from Islam that is practiced 50 years ago or 100 years ago in this archipelago. Please keep in mind, I would like to recall time. In 1980s, I was born in 1970. I was born in 1970s. In 1980, I quite clear remember that nobody in my village wear veil or hijab. But in 1990, everybody every Muslim woman start to wear veil or hijab. And in 2000, everybody put on veil or hijab. So that is the very clear example that Islam in Indonesia evolved. It changed from one form to another. Likewise, organizations, in the time of the Dutch colonial period, there was no organization at all. There was no group. Only many Muslims across archipelago. Some disagree with the Dutch colonialism because they are suffering. They are suffering from oppression. They are suffering from the system that is not just because colonial rulers. Some collaborate with the Dutch, and one of the example is Syed Usman. Syed Usman is he claimed as a descendant of the Prophet, and he collaborated with Sunan Gronje, the Dutch scholar. He is entrusted with sending Muslims to Mecca to perform pilgrimage or Hajj. That is one example that Islam is diverse. And after that, in 1912, Syarikat Dagang Islam or Trading Muslim Association was founded. And after that, Muhammadiyah. And after that, Nahdlatul Ulama. This is development. And at the moment, the picture of Islam in Indonesia is quite different from 100 years ago. We are, until today, as a Muslim, inventing Islam every day. Islam is not finished. Islam in practice and in reality is never perfect because we make it perfection. So we contribute somehow to create Islam every day, when we establish mosque, for instance, we create different kind of Islam. We establish new organization, we create new Islam. We holding sermons, preaching like Ustad, we create another kind of Islam. So everybody is contributing to what so-called Indonesian Islam. Along a theologian called Al-Jahiz. Al-Jahiz is a medieval Muslim theologian, says, Kullu Muslim mutakallim. Every Muslim is a theologian. La rohbaniyata fil Islam. There is no monastery in Islam. Everybody is a priest, everybody is clerk, everybody is in monastery, which is Muslim community. So, if today we talk about Islam in Indonesia, we should be very honest that Islam is not so simple. Islam is complicated. What we understand might be different from reality because reality keep evolving, reality keep changing, and our understanding sometimes need update, from new researchers. What is very pressing issues today? The relation of Islam to other religions and the relation of Muslim with Muslim. This is pressing issues in Indonesia. I'm sure today our government support to spread a discourse, moderation. Moderation today is very important, particularly after the fall of World Trade Center in the US, 2001, 9/11. Moderation is very popular today, and the government, I think, promote this kind of understanding of moderation. Moderate in terms of practice, in terms of tolerance. But I think we have so many jobs. We have so many assignments. Firstly, what so-called moderation? What is moderation? And today, I think most of us in Indonesia, when we talk about moderation, we look at ourselves. We look at our religion, Islam. And I don't think that is moderation. Moderation means how we perceive other religions, how we compare ourselves and be fair with other groups, both inside our religion or outside our religions. If moderation is just reinterpreting Islam based on our interests, our own understanding, our own situation, that is not moderation. Moderation is comparing our understanding of our faith with other faith. That is moderation. Moderation is something to do with tolerance, something to do with interfaith, something to do with a dialogue. And Indonesia, as I said earlier, is diverse. The government of Indonesia officially acknowledges 6 religions: Islam, Catholicism, Protestantism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. But in reality, it's much more complicated than that. According to anthropological research, we have at least 1,300 religious groups. And that is not officially recorded by the government. Of course, we have records in many researchers, in many books. And inside our religions, as I said earlier, has many branches, many different practices. And if we put moderation into our attention, we should compare ourselves, we should look at ourselves, how much we understand others, how we treat others, how we interact with each other. That is moderation. Moderation is a tolerance to other group, and we have no intention to eliminate practices different from us. That is part of moderation. And we should be fair with other groups. For instance, in Islam, in Indonesia, you have so many organizations. The major of them, Nahdlatul Ulama, Muhammadiyah. But I don't think that is very simple. That is not simple. It's complicated. Inside Nahdlatul Ulama, there are many groups. Inside Muhammadiyah, there are many groups. And how these groups interact with each other, how they give a fair treatment to each other, how they deal with each other, how they tolerate different choices in politics, for instance. In one organization, for instance, either Muhammadiyah or Nahdlatul Ulama, in one organization, they have different choices when they face with general election. They have different candidate of presidents, they have different candidate of governors, they have different candidate head of district or bupati, and how they tolerate with each other. And of course, they vote different political parties in one organization, either Nahdlatul Ulama or Muhammadiyah, not to mention other organizations. So how we handle this difference among us, that is moderation. And we look at not only in our tradition, not only in our scripture, moderation is long already mentioned by a philosopher like Socrates, Aristotle, 2,500 years ago. 2,500 years ago, and Islam is only 1,500 years ago. So 1,000 older than Islam itself. Moderation is become one of the most important virtue beside courageous, beside justice, beside temperance. And moderation play a very crucial role in shaping morality and character building. In Stoic traditions, particularly in the writings of Marcus Aurelius, in the writing of Seneca, in the writing of Epictetus, and the rest of them, of course. And if you look at in China, in the work of Tao Te Ching, for instance, there is a notion of moderation in balancing yin and yang. Likewise, in the Hindu tradition, there is a movement called ahimsa, non-violence. Ahimsa, non-violence. This was a practice by Mahatma Gandhi. So if we want to be open-minded, to broaden our horizon, to broaden our understanding, and indeed, moderation can be achieved. But if we close ourselves, that moderation is enough, looking at ourselves, looking at our own scripture, looking at our own understanding of our own religion, moderation is far away. Moderation cannot be achieved. Moderation can be achieved as long as we open our mind, as long as we broaden our horizon, as long as we want to look at other people with different nationality, different tradition, different culture, and different religions. Of course, that is moderation. So, to be moderate is indeed very hard. To be radical, fundamentalist, and non-tolerant is indeed very easy. To be moderate, it means we have to learn. We have to study, we have to read more books, we have to listen to other people with different faiths, we have to listen to those who embrace different religions. To be radical, to be fundamentalist, to be intolerant, just forget about teaching, just forget about learning, just forget about books, just forget about reading. That is easy. And I think we, Indonesian Islam, face a similar challenge, face similar challenges. And in terms of theology, I think we all agree that Indonesian Islam historically belong to the Sunni tradition, to Ash'arid. Almost all organizations in Indonesia is Ash'arid. And mostly our law, Islamic law, belong to Shafi'i school, Madhab Shafi'i. But indeed, once again, this is not so simple. Because Indonesia is not Middle East. Indonesia is not medieval century. Indonesia is today different. And we adjust, we create our own jurisprudence or usul fikih, Indonesian fikih, and we should be very proud because this understanding, Indonesian fikih or Indonesian Islamic law, was born in Yogyakarta. Hasbi Asidiki, one of Yogyakarta, Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic Institute at the time, said quite in the 70s or 60s that Indonesian fikih should be formulated. And I think this was followed up by Kiai Ali Yafi, head of the Indonesian Ulama Council. And then many of our friends from Cirebon also try to endeavor in the what so-called Indonesian fikih or Indonesian Islamic law. But we should be very proud that Yogyakarta has own tradition. Sunan Kalijaga has own tradition of fikih of Indonesia or Indonesian fikih. This chain of transmission or sanad or rawi, I think is very clear. From Hasbi Asitiki, we have many scholars and they wrote books about fikih in Indonesia, like Professor Abdul Salam Arif, Malik Madani, Professor Yudian Wahyudi, who's at the moment is the head of BPIP, Pancasila Ideologi. How long I have time? Should I end now? I talk too much. Because I try to talk at the moment and then I have to go to do with something else. I think I have to try to present a very realistic view and my experience as a researcher, because I have done research almost across Indonesia, from the northern tips of Sumatra Island, from Aceh to the eastern Indonesia, Papua. I visited that places, I interview many people, I hold a workshop across Indonesia. So what I said is, it's expression of my humble and modest experience. And I should add one more important subject, that is diversity or bhinneka or keragaman. That is an important clue when we talk about Islam in Indonesia. And today I think that we still far away from having understanding what is plurality, what is pluralism in Indonesia. And as a scholars, we should do that. We should formulate, we should define what is pluralism. Because in our constitutions, in our Garuda Pancasila, symbol of Indonesian symbol Garuda, it has written unity in diversity, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. But the word diversity itself at the moment needs more attention, because we are much more plural than our founding fathers imagined. At the time, anthropology, sociology was not yet developed, and today anthropology, sociology, social sciences have developed. And I think if we look at carefully Indonesian culture, Indonesian tradition, the practice of religion is quite different. So this is quite a huge assignment for us, honorable job to define what is pluralism. This is a very important key, because so far our government at the moment still hold a policy of diversity based on the new order of Suharto, the understanding of tolerance, the understanding of plurality, the understanding of pluralism, the understanding of interfaith is still based on old versions to produce during the new order of Suharto. And we have to produce new things. And that is my humble experience, and thank you very much. I wish this conference would be very productive, and I wish this will produce more collaboration, and I wish all of you successful, be happy, and keep healthy. And congratulations. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Okay, let's recite Basmalah to open this conference together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. Have fun.
Okay, thank you very much for Professor Dr. Pil Almakin, SAGMA, for the spectacular speech and substantial
Recording
speech.
stopped.
It was very great, Professor. And before we move to the next agenda, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Siti Ruhaini Zulhayatin, MA, who recently joining the Zoom. Good afternoon, Madam. Thank you very much, Professor.
Recording in progress.
But We have to take pictures together? Yeah, we have to take pictures together. I'm sorry.
Ya.
Okay, to all audience in Zoom, you may open your camera. I would like to guide the picture sessions today.
Yang ini ya, yang 1, 2.
Aku, okay. Yeah. Okay. All crew silent and camera rolling and 1, 2, 3. Okay. No. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, first. Oh yeah, one more time, please. One more time for the camera behind
The TV. Okay. Kayak bebas boleh nih. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. One more time. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Professor, for coming here. Be happy. And we will take pictures with audience in Zoom.
ini udah slide keberapa? Udah semua?
Okay, so it's all done. Thank you very much. I would like to apologize that Professor Yudian cannot joining the Zoom because of another occasions or another meetings. Last but not least, finally, we come to the end of this event. To close this event, let's reciting Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your coming and your nice attention. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And right now, for the main event, which is in a term of Islam in Indonesia, prospect and challenges for building global civic harmony, we have Mrs. Ambersari, Ph.D., who will moderate this main event. After Professor Al-Makin, who delivered his spectacular speech, we have a lot of speakers, which is very great. And I would like to I'm happily inviting our moderator, Mrs. Ambersari, Ph.D., to come on stage. So to Mrs. Ambersari, Ph.D., I respectfully welcome.